So much like our data sets and analyzing video from before, I'm going to go into the data sets a little more since this is kind of the heavy part of our system. But what I'm going to do is dive a little bit more into the multi-band approach and what this means and getting into saving some of those fields. As you see here, I'm in the list. I've saved other pieces. I've saved other spread maps. I'm just going to select this multiband right here. And I'm going to just look into the classifying a little more to kind of just showcase the why and withal why you would want to do this. So once I have it selected by double clicking on it, like I said, if I want to remove it or change this or dissolve it, I can do that. I hit on the classify button. And as you see here with this specific image, there's actually two crops here. This was actually soybeans and this was wheat, I believe, on this year. So I'm actually, on a field like this, you would actually want to analyze them separately. But let's just say, for instance, I'm going to keep this. Why I start at a higher zone rate, like I said before in some of the other videos, is so I don't mask the variability in the fields. If you start off just a 4 zone, sometimes it will blob up. It'll very depend on the time of year it was taken. But for this instance, I'm just taking out this whole area here to merge. Now, it's quite possible maybe this area was low vegetation because of maybe there was a water issue there and you want to change that, or there's an alkali area or some other instance where you want to merge those zones together. Same for these different ones in the green. There's a lot of different patterns in here in acres, but maybe I just want to bring a few of these together. And it could be for understanding the acreage a little better. Like I said, you can, in other videos, you can kind of ebb and flow this as you need to, depending on what you're looking at. There's a lot of different ways and applications needed for it. But a lot of ways to bring the multiple zones in is so that you can get to a more manageable area. A lot of times people will, I'd say, complain about different resolutions in different imagery and how that you want more defined. The thing about it is most of the application equipment can't get as defined as some of the imagery actually is, and you actually have to de-resolutionize the image. And by merging some of these zones is one way you can do that to make it more manageable for yourself for scouting or for creating a variable rate map. Not many places can, or equipment can handle doing, say, 30 different zones or tiny 1 meter wide zones. So we need to make it manageable for the actual system in use itself. So here we got a 6 zone. We have different zones of 30 acres and around 18 acres. It's pretty manageable. In these areas, I could actually go in and probably understand what's going here, or I could take a soil test in these specific zones. So why we have the merging function is to handle that. Now, I can actually add a zone from here too, from what previously was merged. I just have to select on here and add another merge beyond that from before. So you can kind of revert back as you need to. So I can easily show a histogram here to understand the acreages. I can change the indices here as well to look at the different patterns in it to kind of expand the zones or contract them relative to the zone before them. This is, like I said in another video, a little more of an expert level to dive in a little more. And you'll see different results from that. I can also just take out this zone, so I just masked this entire zone here. As you see, it went away. That's another thing you can do. So say I don't want this, I don't want to put a rate to it, I don't want to put a rate to this one zone here, I can just take it out. I can take out this zone too. So it only applies when you're going over to these specific ones. This can work really good in an on-off application. Those are some other features in the classifying tool that you can use. Naturally, you can go between different analysis types. Since I already merged here, it kind of got in the way of that. But I can go back and forth between these, and it's going to show different things relative to what type of analysis you did and what your zones are. So you're seeing different things depending on the type of band you're looking at. The order and the scale, it doesn't really change much, but more with the colors and how you want to look at that. Whether it's top down, bottom up, so green versus kind of the red of what we have merged. So here's your bottom, here's your top. Naturally, I like to do the scaled version so you can kind of break it out a little more. But we can change our color table from here as well to open this up back to some of our other colors. You get some more funky colors in here. But in the classify tool, it's just a good thing to play with. Even this select classification, it's always equal intervals, so I wouldn't, there's nothing really to change there. But these are some of the features. So once you actually get the map you want into the color table you want, so here's kind of our original one, and I actually added that extra zone, and it took that other zone and brought it to the other color. So I'm just going to save this. You can save it as whatever you need it naturally. And so this just goes back into the list and back into the data sets and allows you just to kind of customize how the imagery is portrayed and how you actually can use it for into the future. And that just dove into a little more of the classification, merging functions, and needs of why zones maybe need to be changed or shift in focus for different applications.